In the last episode, we saw Chuck under pressure. City generation and big edits eat up a lot of time, or so he thought. But by using City Designer's automatic sector rules, road adjustment, and regeneration features, he was able to tweak his city and make his boss happy, all while saving time. But Bob's taking another look at Chuck's city, and he sees something he really doesn't like. The environment doesn't match the gameplay. Chuck's buildings are all over the place. He needs a city with a defined center and well-distributed urban activities. For example, he wants to put all the tall blue office buildings in one place to create a business district. But the thought of all that manual placement is pretty discouraging. Let's go back to the activities parameter in the specification interface. You'll remember that activities is where Chuck puts the templates that he creates with Parcel Editor. Activities is Chuck's secret weapon in his quest to make the perfect city. Why? Because this little feature packs a big punch. It puts his content where he wants it so that his city can adapt to any environment, automatically. As we saw in the last episode, this was Chuck's final result, and he didn't have to spend any time manually repositioning the buildings and roads. The first version of Chuck's city didn't look like this. Here, Chuck concentrates on the area that's causing trouble. Activities has 3 parameters to bring his buildings back into line: importance, influences, and intensity. All templates are created equal, but some templates are more equal than others. Importance helps Chuck decide which templates get priority placement during generation. Importance occurs on a scale of 0 to 1,000. The bigger the number, the more important the template. Templates with lower value will be replaced by templates with higher value if they're in competition for the same space. Chuck sets the importance of each building at 700 because he wants the buildings to be the main activities in the area where they are located. If a house with an importance of 300 and a building with an importance of 700 try to compete for the same space, the building wins. In City Designer, an influence is just that. Using influence is a way to attract activity areas to one another or to push them away from each other. It helps to think of influences as an algorithmic magnet, or, more simply, a force field. Here, for example, Chuck creates an attraction from buildings to buildings. Each building activity area will attract another. This is where intensity comes into play. Intensity is a subparameter of influences. It refers to the force of the attraction or repulsion between activity areas. Higher numbers mean stronger forces. Intensity can also be negative. And if Chuck really wants to keep 2 activity areas away from one another, he can create a negative intensity between them. Chuck settles on an attraction of 80 between his buildings. That's pretty strong. He can expect his buildings to be closer to one another. Now that he's had practice with the 3 eyes, he's ready to generate. But Bob strikes back. He likes the way the racetrack looks next to the building, and he doesn't want it to move when Chuck resumes generation. It's very easy for Chuck to lock anything he wants: activities, road segments, or anything else that he doesn't want to move, and the simulator won't touch it. The manual editing features allow him to add individuality and detail to his automatic generation. He can always choose the mix of automation and manual editing that works best for him. Here, you can see Chuck's city taking shape. Notice that his buildings are beginning to concentrate into the same area without any manual handling. Compare this result with Chuck's first city. The result is much better. It's visually interesting, realistic, and fast. Chuck's almost at the finish line. What did he learn today? How activities can make a city look coherent and organized. How to give activity groups priority placement. How to attract or repel activity areas. And how to distribute that force over a given space.